When we come back, any of you remember this?
It's like somebody goes to a restaurant, orders a big steak dinner, martini, all that stuff, and then, just as you're sitting down, they leave.
Well, just hours later, he left, reportedly eating and running and leaving one restaurant with the tab. Uh-oh, the CEO of Bennigan's on whether he has a beef with that. Come on, he's the president. I mean, other people pay, right? Do they? I don't know. Retail beef prices have never been higher. The USDA saying they're up nearly 16% in less than 2 years. So how is Bennigan's able to sell $7 burgers in the face of all of that and $14 steak dinners? We've got CEO Paul Manganiello here to really maybe expose the secret. What's going on? How are you able to do that?
You and the beef. Every time I come on, we have to talk about rising beef prices.
Well, they're still rising.
Let's lay it out. Okay, so USDA they grade the beef.
Right.
Okay, so
you've gone to cheaper cuts and are now serving dog food, right?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Okay. Now that was the other guy. not me. That was the competition.
Okay.
Not us. And so with that different gradation, some of the higher end food steak places are taking the prime age cuts and maybe using just prime, and so they're taking it down a notch. Some people that were using choice are now using select.
Right.
And so they're trying to balance some of that cost. But here's the other piece. There's some headwinds and there's some tailwinds. Some of the headwind, of course, is the continuing rise of the beef cost. The tailwind is because of the mild winter, the corn crop is abundant. It's very robust. And so with that, of course, that feeds the herds. So although the herds are thinning, some of that cost in terms of feeding the livestock goes into that. So there's going to be a little bit of a leveling out. It's still very precarious, but there's
obviously not enough to let people, eat chicken.
Well, but then that's where you have to continually reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
I think there's.
You guys change your menu like every week, don't you?
Well, every other week. But Neil, I like that you did your homework. Yeah, I mean, you have to constantly renovate. You have to constantly reinvent yourself.
Right.
You have to refresh your menu. So we're looking at trying to get more into not so much the beef, although 25% of our menu is the hamburger. And so with the hamburger, our signature item. So we're never going to pass on price and alienate.
Well, you've done something
customers.
right because your restaurants are chock full. I did think of you, though, coming here, Paul, and what you might have made of the president making that famous steak dinner comment and picking up the tab. Then the president is at this event and he leaves without paying the bill. Now, I always give him the benefit. You're the president. I mean, I can't see you whipping out your American Express and signing. But what did you think of that?
Well, I'm just glad it wasn't in a Bennigan.
You would have said, hey, come here, Mr. President.
Come on over here, Obama. Let's talk a little bit.
You would have treated him. You would have treated the White House.
I would have.
You would have. What do you think of what he wants to do, that he wants to raise, let the tax rates on the upper income expire so that they're paying more taxes? Would that even affect a business like yours?
Not really. The great thing about being in the restaurant business is people are coming out to eat no matter what. And
they don't a little less in an environment that looks dicey, or if we're going to go into another recession, or at the very least a slowdown?
I think it's, again, it's very precarious. I look at the unemployment. It's still in bad shape. I look at the ability to get financing. So for us, when we're doing franchising, we have some great franchisees, and they want to build more restaurants, and yet they can't get any money. And yet the banks have trillions of dollars in reserves, and none of it comes down to that small business owner, like Amelia was talking about. It's not going to the small business owners so they can do something called open up a business and employ people. So
is that what she said?
No, she didn't say that. I'm saying.
Oh, okay, good. But in other words, things could be better, but it's not affecting your restaurants at this point, right? I mean, they're still crowded. They're still, right?
Well, we're still holding our own.
Gotcha.
I'm not entirely bullish, but I'm very happy with the traction that we've created with Bennigan's. We're still having same-store sales increases, although modest. Love to see them get a lot larger.
I'll tell you what I love about your place. Those are you very good food, very accommodative to kids, loud kids, even kids. Let's say hypothetically you had sons who beat each other up, and it was loud. It's okay. because you
It
can't
is.
hear them screaming, which is good.
Over the music, exactly.
Over the music.
So, it's a great place for the families to come.
Gotcha.
And then, of course, we take care of the singles and the people going out for a special occasion. And our bar, of course, is always
I'm
fun.
the family from hell they dread sitting next to them. But no, you're doing something right, Paul, and you're to be
thank you.
commended for that in this environment.
Well, thanks for having me on again.
All right, let's do it again.